Hi, I'm Faith Pinot from LA Times Studios in Washington, D.C. Let's dive right into some of today's top headlines from the Los Angeles Times. For the first time in 4 years, the federal government is moving to reopen DACA. The Deferred Action for Childhood Arrivals is an Obama-era program that protects immigrants brought to the U.S. as children. LA Times reporters say a new Justice Department proposal would let first-time applicants apply nationwide, except in Texas. According to the filing, DACA recipients there could still renew their status, but they would lose their legal ability to work. The plan still needs approval from a federal judge in Brownsville, so there's no changes to the program yet. Right now, more than 500,000 immigrants are currently enrolled in the program. And for years, it's been tied up in court battles, leaving many young immigrants who would have qualified at risk of deportation. The Supreme Court blocked Trump's attempt to end the program in 2020, but since 2021, it has remained closed to new applicants, with only renewals allowed. Advocates say the latest proposal offers a glimmer of hope for first-time applicants. But with legal challenges still looming, the future of DACA remains uncertain. And police in California are facing a growing issue: how to give out a ticket to driverless vehicles. Suana Hussein says over the weekend, San Bruno officers noticed a car driving erratically. They were ready for a routine traffic stop, only to find nobody behind the wheel. It was a self-driving Waymo robo-taxi, making an illegal U-turn right in front of officers. Without a human driver, police say they couldn't issue a ticket. Instead, they just alerted the company. But the incident puts a spotlight on a gap in California law. Right now, only humans can be cited for traffic violations, but they're no longer the only ones on the road. A new law that aims to close that loophole takes effect in July. It lets police report self-driving car violations to the DMV, but stops short of allowing officers to give tickets. And critics say it's simply not enough, pointing to states like Texas and Arizona, which already let officers cite the vehicle owner. Waymo says its cars are safer than human drivers, but still, this latest glitch shows the road to regulating robo-taxis is anything but smooth. President Trump and Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth declared an end to what they're calling woke culture in the U.S. military. According to reporters, hundreds of admirals and generals were abruptly summoned to Quantico, Virginia, Tuesday. They watched as Hegseth rolled out new directives, announcing gender-neutral or, quote, male-level physical standards, as well as looser rules on discipline and hazing. He said any leaders who oppose the changes should resign.
But I look out at this group, and I see great Americans. Leaders who have given decades to our great republic, at great sacrifice to yourselves and to your families. But if the words I'm speaking today are making your heart sink, then you should do the honorable thing and resign. We would thank you for your service. But I suspect, I know, the overwhelming majority of you feel the opposite. These words make your hearts full. You love the War Department because you love what you do, the profession of arms. You are hereby liberated to be an apolitical, hard-charging, no-nonsense, constitutional leader that you joined the military to be. We need you locked in on the M.
Trump followed his speech, praising U.S. nuclear power while slamming his predecessor, President Biden, saying the military must be so strong that no nation dares to challenge America. Both leaders also said diversity and gender quotas have weakened the force and vowed to scrap many of those policies. Take a listen.
The apparatus of our country was not set up for merit. It was set up for political correctness. And you can never be great if you're going to do that. And we're going to be greater than we ever were before. We will not be politically correct when it comes to defending American freedom. And we will be a fighting and winning machine. We want to fight. We want to win.
Critics point out those same policies were put in place to support and protect soldiers. in an effort to address things like bullying, toxic leadership, and suicides in the ranks. But Hegseth's hardline message comes as Washington faces a potential government shutdown, and as he continues to shake up the Pentagon with several cuts and firings at the highest level. And the Dallas ICE shooting, a second detainee has died after being shot during last week's attack on a Dallas immigration field office. Family members announced that Miguel Angel Garcia Hernandez was removed from life support Tuesday. The 32-year-old father was one of 3 detainees shot on September 24th. One man died at the scene and another was critically injured. Authorities say the gunman, 29-year-old Joshua Jean, fired from a nearby rooftop before fatally shooting himself. He was allegedly targeting ICE agents, though no federal officers were hurt in the attack. Police say he hated the U.S. government and wanted to incite violence. The shooting has shaken immigrant communities nationwide, many of which are already on edge over heightened enforcement. Family members of Garcia Hernandez say he was a loving father, husband, and the sole provider for his kids. He was also expecting the birth of his 5th child soon. And it's one of the hottest trends in Silicon Valley right now. AI coding assistant, basically tools that can write computer code while human programmers focus on the bigger picture. Matt O'Brien reports that some are calling it vibe coding, and it's sort of a way to let AI handle the grunt work. Anthropic just launched Claude Sonnet 4.5, the latest version of its signature chatbot. They claim it can code completely autonomously for more than 30 hours. Meanwhile, OpenAI is racing to keep up with its newest ChatGPT model. Now, these tools aren't replacing engineers. They're making them faster and more efficient. But it's causing some worry for early career developers, who may face fewer entry-level opportunities. Experts say understanding the fundamentals of coding is still key. The AI can handle the lines of code, but humans are still an essential part of the equation, using intuition and experience to ensure quality, security, and scalable software. And speaking of AI, California is moving to make the technology safer and more transparent. According to Melody Gutierrez, Governor Gavin Newsom signed Senate Bill 53 Monday, requiring AI companies to disclose safety protocols and report things like cyber attacks to the state starting in 2027. The law also strengthens whistleblower protections and allows the Attorney General to enforce fines of up to $1 million for violations. Opponents of the bill argued that the new rules could slow innovation and bury tech developers in red tape. But Newsom says the bill strikes a good balance between protecting the public and letting AI innovation thrive, with other supporters calling it, quote, common sense guardrails for a rapidly growing industry. And after a long summer of near record-breaking heat, Southern California is cooling down this week, finally. According to Alex Wigglesworth, a marine layer and cloud cover are keeping temperatures 4 to 8 degrees cooler than usual. And if you missed your jackets or coats, you might be able to dig them out of the closet, especially in the evenings when the wind is expected to pick up. On Wednesday, SoCal could see some more sun before temperatures warm up into Thursday. But by early next week, forecasters say highs could tumble even lower at about 10 to 15 degrees below average. And that fall weather seems to come just in time for the Dodgers. They open their best-of-3 wildcard series against the Reds Tuesday night at Dodger Stadium. But before the action kicks off, LA Times reporter Houston Mitchell gave a sneak peek of what to expect. On paper, Mitchell says the Dodgers are clearly favored. They've gone 15-5 in their last 20, while Cincinnati just barely squeezed into the wild card on the last day of the regular season. But still, he reminds Dodgers fans that nothing is guaranteed in October baseball. As for the roster, manager Dave Roberts confirmed Clayton Kershaw will not make an appearance. And while Max Muncy is back, catcher Will Smith is questionable with a hairline fracture in his hand. Now, Mitchell says the Reds bring versatility. They have players like Gavin Lux moving across positions. But the Dodgers have momentum. Mitchell's prediction, Dodgers in 2. Elsewhere Tuesday, October baseball is in full swing. The Tigers head to Cleveland, the Padres face the Cubs at Wrigley, and a heated rivalry in New York as the Red Sox meet the Yankees in the Bronx. And on the opposite coast, Miami's Dolphins star Tyreek Hill is likely done for the season after suffering a devastating knee injury Monday night. Times reporter Steve Henson says it happened early in the third quarter matchup versus the Jets. Hill caught a pass along the sideline, and as he came down, his leg twisted underneath him. Immediately, both teams' medical staff descended on the star. An air cast was put on his left leg, and he was carted off the field. Coach Mike McDaniel said Hill dislocated his knee, and multiple outlets report that he also tore several ligaments, including his ACL, and he'll need reconstructive surgery. Despite the injury, teammates and his agent say Hill has been in good spirits. He was even seen smiling through the pain as he left the field Monday. As for surgery, Hill confirmed the news himself Tuesday morning, posting a video from the hospital and asking fans to keep him in their prayers. That's it for now. To read these stories and more, be sure to subscribe to the LA Times.